And Mariette only left very, very late. So I said, but how did you know? She said, because the car was parked next to her room. And she heard that the car left because apparently Ria's daughter, Marina, had found them and phoned Mariette because they thought that Ria had had a heart attack. But by the time Mariette had got there, the police were there, everybody was there. Now, Annetjie confirmed that Mariette was in bed. And then when the court case happened, she vanished. And in court, when they asked her about the interview with me, she said, I don't know Mr. Brown. I've never ever seen Mr. Brown.
Why would you think would she have done that?
But if you get threatened, you'll do anything.
How reliable is a statement made under hypnosis?
You can lie. As I put in my Dickens statement, I don't know who pulled the trigger, but I know it wasn't Mariette Bosch.
Unfortunately, Annetjie, Mariette's domestic worker, had passed away since she'd testified in Mariette's trial. During the trial, the testimonies of Mariette's two daughters on their mother's movements that night were rejected by the judge, Mr. Abuchai. Mr. Mack, the prosecutor, explains how he exposed the daughters' lies during cross-examination.
The long and short of it is that obviously the little girl could not have seen the mother picking the phone in the bedroom and Charmaine picking the phone in the living room.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the crucial point in that is then that they couldn't have proved that Mariette was at home, actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tinie's alibi for that night was that he'd driven from Maun to Gaborone, a 6 hours drive. However, according to the judgment, both Mariette and Marina had gone to fetch him at the Gaborone airport the morning after the murder. Shortly after the murder, the leases on the Bosch and Pomerantz houses expired, and to save costs, Tinie and Mariette decided to rent a house together. Tinie alleged his main reason for sharing a house was that his daughter Marina had told him she wanted to live with Mariette. A reason being that she did not want to stay in the house where her mother had been murdered. Tinie, who stayed in Maun, alleged he slept in Marina's room whenever he visited Gaborone. He denied having an affair with Mariette.
I know when she was living with Tinie and Mariette in Botswana just after her mother's death, she didn't get along at all with Sunay. In a matter of fact, she didn't get along with Mariette either. I mean, they told her that she wasn't allowed to speak about her mother, not say anything about her mother. That grated Marina a bit. It was so unbearable that she came to live with Anne.
I should imagine she must have been shattered by her mother's death.
Maybe, I don't know, but she never opened up to us.
Would you say that Tinie has a sort of hold on people?
He gives you that impression, yes.
Another thing is he like his two daughters. He can, tell them you must say this and you must say that and don't say that, and they'll listen to him.
Apparently, something rather strange happened to Marina one morning.
It was just funny. It was about a few weeks after Ria's death that Marina got involved in this train accident. When we asked her what happened, she says she can't remember anything. The next thing she felt was the train hitting her.
The profiler, Dr. Mickey Pistorius, was concerned that this was the second time in this drama that a character had been involved in a car accident under suspicious circumstances. Why could Marina not remember anything? Might not this indicate that a drug like Rohypnol or Dormicum could have been administered?
Maar 'n mens moet drome hê. Jy weet, die dag as 'n mens ophou droom, het jy eintlik ophou leef.
And has she got any explanation for what happened?
No. She's got no recollection what happened between the time that she got dressed and got into the car to go to work.
The team was curious as to why Marina was desperate to leave Tinie and Mariette's house, and how her car landed in front of that train, which left her scarred, but alive.
Hallo?
Hallo, mag je met Marina praat?
Marina, hallo?
Hallo Marina, is weer Sandra. Het jy met jou pa gepraat?
Yes, hy het gesê hy gaan jou lei. Ek het jou selfoonnommer het ek vir hom deurgegee.
Ja, ek het ook met hom gepraat. Toe sê ek vir hom ek het nie besef dat ek nie met jou en Mariana kan praat nie. Ek het gedink dit is net Charmaine en Sunay.
Nee, ja.
Ja. En toe wat sê hy toe vir jou? Nee, julle is ook deel van die ding.
Ja, toe sê hy vir my volgens aan is dit verkieslik beter dat niemand aan die nabye familie eers ietsie sê nie. Want hulle is al so ver met hulle dinge dat dit gaan beter wees as ons nie nou weer publiek gaan as ek dit so kan stel nie. My pa en hulle hanteer alles, hulle werk met alles. Op hierdie stadium vertel hy ons nie veel wat aangaan nie. Wat ek verkies juis oor dat daar is baie media mense wat ons skakel en nou sê ek die verkeerde ding wat ek nie moet sê nie en dan ek wil nie drama veroorsaak nie.
Ja. Is dit nou oor die boek of is dit oor die menseregte saak?
Ek het nie idee nie.
Jy
sal maar by hulle moet hoor.
Jy het nie idee nie.
Ja, dis hoekom ek sê vir my hoe minder ek op hierdie stadium weet hoe beter. So niemand kan my uitvra en vasvra en dan sê ek dalk dinge wat ek nie moet sê nie.
Ja. Ek sal maar weer probeer om miskien later met jou te praat. Hallo, is jy nog daar? Hallo? So what do you make of that? I mean, the fact that she says she's scared of saying something wrong.
To me, it's quite difficult. If you speak the truth, you're going to speak the truth. How can you say, maybe I say the wrong thing? You know, it sounds very fishy.
Yeah.
What she said, and she also said, the less I know, the better. And my father doesn't tell us everything, and that's the way I prefer it.
Well, when she's not that young, she's not a child anymore. Why would she want to relinquish all control over her life?
Yes, but I think it also just shows us, you know, the way in which Tini controls or manipulates everybody around him. You know, that even his daughters, I mean, she's a free citizen. But they're definitely hiding something. Why don't they want to speak to us?
Because I said to her, is it because of the book? And she said, I don't know and I don't want to know.
Yeah. I think it's very, very strange that they have an opportunity to put their case and they don't want to make use of it.
Yeah.
Henny Coetzee was the manager at Quena Rockler, where Ria Wolmerans had worked as a financial controller. Tini said Ria had phoned him on the morning of the 26th of June 1996 to inform him of the misappropriation of funds she'd uncovered at Quena Rockler. She named Henny Coetzee as the culprit. Did this information provide Tini with a perfect scapegoat for the murder of his wife? Ria died the evening before the auditors arrived at Quena Rockler. However, the audit later did not find any fraud committed by Henny Coetzee. Henny had attended a friend's party on the evening of the murder. Several people made different statements about the time he'd left the party, but the judge, Mr. Abuhay, rejected their evidence as biased.
And Henny was also a client of yours?
Indeed, yes.
Well, what kind of man was he?
Henny was a very clever man. He was an engineer and he had a very agile mind.
Right, but did he have a strong personality? Was he quite soft?
A different style again, completely to Justin. Henny was more subtle in his approach, but he was bright.
Tini also asked Mr. Evans Brown his opinion about Henny Coetzee's involvement. Mr. Brown recalls what Marietta told him while under hypnosis.
What did she say to you?
But under hypnosis? Under hypnosis, we found out, well, actually, Jean found out and I found out that she had been drugged. And I do this type of work. I work with Rohypnol, Dormic, and, you know, and when you mention those things up there, this is nonsense. It doesn't exist. I found that this blonde-headed guy went to visit Mariette because a few months earlier, Mariette's husband got killed in a motor car accident. Right. And this gentleman, Henny, used to go and visit her. And she recalls through regression that he came to visit. I got dates and everything, it's all on the tapes, that he came to visit and he had a bottle of wine in his hand as well. She didn't remember that until I regressed her. And she said that the wine tasted funny, but it didn't mean anything. And Jean, in her work as well, had picked up that she had something to drink and somebody had put something into the drink as well.
Dr. Louise Olivier